Support comes from the St. Louis Public Library Foundation. During these challenging times, free access to digital resources is a necessity. You can help our community stay connected. Support your St. Louis Public Library at slpl.org.
This is St. Louis on the Air from St. Louis Public Radio. I'm Elaine Cha. This weekend will be filled with toasted ravioli, gooey butter cake, and Cardinals gear. That's because mid-March is celebration time in STL. In fact, I'm willing to argue that March 14th is the biggest holiday in the St. Louis region because 314 Day is a time dedicated to uplifting all that St. Louis is and what it can be. Joining me in studio are three St. Louisans who do that for this city in many ways. Courtney Dowdle is the host of No Mo FOMO on Community Radio STL. Courtney, welcome back.
Thanks, Elaine.
We're also joined by Damon Davis, interdisciplinary, or rather non-disciplinary artist. Welcome back to you as well, Damon.
Great to see you, Elaine.
And last but not least, we have Mai Lee. She's a singer, songwriter, and manager of her family's restaurant, also named Mai Lee. Great to have you back on the show.
I'm so happy to be here.
Now, here on St. Louis on the Air, just about every day is 314 Day in some way. And all three of you have been on the show before to discuss, celebrate, and imagine the future of St. Louis in some capacity. And that's why we've asked you back. For our special 314 Day show, we take a moment to talk with St. Louisans from various walks of life to show love and have some honest conversation about this beloved place from our own perspectives. So let's get started. So something that always comes up when we show love to STL is our amazing music scene. And that's something that everyone in the studio today can attest to. And one of my favorite qualities about the music scene here is how much collaborative effort is in it. Let's take a listen to some examples that feature the works of you, Damon. This is You Love You by Rockwell Knuckles, Damon Davis, and Tef Poe.
What it mean to you? Come on, the fake walk in, man, they see through you. Right through. And if you knew better, you would be about you. Don't cry, love me, you love you. Come on, man. What it mean to you? The fake walk in, man, they see through you. And if you knew better, you would be about you. Don't cry, love me, you love you. What it mean to you? What it mean? What it mean to you? What it mean to you? Don't cry, love me. You love you.
I need my crew to always read the room. I need my loved ones to never assume that I don't need someone like someone needs me. Cause if it's our lives or your life, we gon' see. King of the volcano, real of the false, they know. Feel like a boss, they don't when they come across Thanos. I need my gauntlet and I need my woman. Both give me strength, keep me going and coming. Walk in the room and she's obviously stunning. I belong here, where the hell am I running to? I gotta admit the right and wrong done to you. Talking about breaking up, what are we coming to? What she means to me. Put everything on the line just so we could be. Travel from city to city, see what we can see. Learn to love her better, just letting me love me.
What it mean to you? The fake walk in, man, they see through you.
And that was You Love You by Rockwell Knuckles, Damon Davis, and Tef Poe. So Damon, this song that we've just played can be found on Rockwell's latest project, King of the Volcano 2. How did you come to collaborate with him and Tef on the song?
It was, it's natural. Like those, yeah, they've been my friends for like 20 years. It's Spade, you know what I'm saying? It's just we all in the same circle. I guess we kind of all from the same graduating class. Yeah. So we kind of came up in the hip hop scene in St. Louis together. So, and Rockwell's one of my best friends. So he was just like, we in the studio, come through, and it was pretty simple. Mm-hmm. No real logistics around it.
Well, you're in the chorus of this song, and the chorus is often where we find the takeaway from any given track. And you sing, if you knew better, you would be about you. Don't cry, love me. You love you.
Yeah.
The way that you described this coming together, like you just sort of rolled into the studio because they called you to come, there's a little bit of that in the way that you sing the chorus. But what does it mean, what you're saying, you love you?
Yeah, I think it's more about there's a certain self-assurance. It's not not in the way like ego gets in the way or too much of that, too much narcissism, but it's got to be I think a lot of us are looking for other people to fill holes in our lives. And from what I've learned so far is that you got to have your own basis on how much you care about yourself first, or because you can't add to anybody else if you always trying to take that in, right? Mm-hmm. And so you don't know where you're going, you don't know what you're doing. And so once you get that basic focus around what you loving yourself to a degree, it just makes life easier for everybody around. Yeah.
Does that apply to St. Louis as well?
Yeah, I think that's everybody.
Yeah. Another song I'm going to listen to is what I believe has become one of 314 Days' anthems. This is Figure Out the Rest remix by KV the Writer, Miley, and Reggie Sun.
Figured up no time to delay. I'm just in town for the week. You want my line before I leave? Why call, just pull up on me? You say my problem is you won't be calling me. I think I know your game. You are just for the streets. I'm always on the road to it. That mean to me. Are you gonna roll? You trying to join the team? Try out time process. Rust about complete. You playing under callbacks. That 314 my lead.
He said he open, said he culture, said he love my lead. He from the south side, so we grew up with a Vietnamese partner. And he got a lot of Amiri and Prada, mixing up designers. Yeah. Got a big bag, he matched that with the gateway where the jack's at. Yeah, down the street from where bad, you know. I like my Willow Street and some soul. Know how to take control when it's time he lies.
Tell me, can you watch it like that? Cause where I'm from, the girls got it like that. Like, tell me, am I calling you back? Head down and put you back into it.
My number start with 314.
Figure out the rest later.
And that was Figure Out the Rest remix by KV the Writer, Miley, and Reggie Sun. So, Miley, take us behind the scenes of this remix. How did you end up hopping on this track?
So KV, I believe she put something on her story, on her IG story, and was like, hey, who do you want on the remix? And people put my name.
Oh.
I was like, okay. So she called me because we're really good friends. And she was like, so are you going to get it on the remix? And I was like, I'm really busy, but yes, I'm going to do it. So I called my producers, Brad Young and Vega Heartbreak, who are also from St. Louis. And we wrote the song on the phone in 30 minutes.
There's a little theme going on here. Okay.
Well, so Brad, they all live in the West Coast, right? So, because they don't live here anymore. So the song is called 314, right? Figure Out the Rest. And it's so St. Louis. I was like, okay, we're going to say that I went to Gateway. We're going to say, just taking it back nostalgically, and then me staying true to who I am as an artist, as a woman, as a person. And, I like the nicer things in life. So I'm talking about designer stuff.
It is so specific that it has this intimacy about it, which is, I think the whole song has that, but that part in particular with the remix. So, Courtney, you've covered St. Louis's music scene for various outlets, and you've even joined us on a past edition of our New Music Roundup, and that highlights fresh tracks by artists who are based in or from our listening area. You've been a huge supporter of community radio with the launch of Community Radio STL.
Yes.
What have you observed over time about St. Louis's music scene?
I think one thing that's remarkable about our scene is that in a lot of cases, we're just doing it for ourselves. It's like not trying to get seen by anyone, not trying to be on someone else's radar. We've just got a lot to say. St. Louis has a lot to say, and it's going to put it out there no matter what. So community radio is going to be here no matter what. We're going to build it no matter what because we want it, so we're going to do it.
Yeah. You spent some time away, I believe in Florida, and then I think maybe elsewhere too. Then you came back. Yep. Was there something that you noticed about the music when you returned?
It's both a blessing and a curse, I think, in St. Louis that it's such a small town. We all know each other. So you run into people, everywhere you go. The names all you have mentioned so far, I'm like, oh, Tough Poe. I remember when Tough Poe was on Nine Media with us. I remember Tough Poem Music at the Intersection. Oh, KB the Writer. I worked with KB the Like, it's so integrated you really feel plugged in. Everywhere you go, it's like these people are part of my scene, part of my life, these are my neighbors. And it's nice to have that feeling everywhere. You bounce off of people everywhere you go. And I love that. And I didn't have that in the other places.
Yeah.
Community is very different here than it is in other cities.
Damon and Mai, would you say that community is sort of the fuel that keeps the local scene going and is really elevating it right now? Damon?
Yeah, I guess I would definitely say that. I think it's a lot of KV. I think KV is clearly somebody that's about community and bring people in. Sir Eddie C is my homie, and he's also somebody. And I'm just watching people. I ain't gonna tell my age, but I'm watching people grow into leadership roles. You know what I'm saying? And only through building and being around each other and that type of community effort that's what a scene is. A scene ain't a bunch of people siloed off and they only worried about themselves. I see a lot of people doing a lot of community stuff, whether being on the same shows with each other, but they always looking out for each other. And I think that's what built it and keeps it going.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to agree with him. Everything is based off community here. Your relationships you build with people, your interactions, first impressions for sure, Mm-hmm. And, St. Louis is a tough city, so you gotta have a good one. You gotta be nice to us.
Especially the last.
Yeah. Since I started hosting St. Louis on the Air, we've done this 314-day special show 3 times. This is number 4. And a common theme that has come up in speaking about our favorite things about St. Louis is really its people. Like, folks really love people from St. Louis. What are some of the qualities or quirks that you see in most St. Louisans that you know?
I think we have a tenacity, like we stand up for each other, and we set tones for not only here but other places on how people should stand up for community. Mm-hmm. But mainly the thing I'm thinking about is the accent. It's very particular.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that too.
Yeah.
It's important.
I get told all the time, every time I leave, that it's hard for people to place.
How would you describe the accent?
Special.
Special.
That's great.
I mean, there's like the her and there, right?
Here, there, everywhere. Yes.
But it just comes out naturally. It's not even something that is forced.
No.
And I'll catch myself saying it at work, and I'm like, I'm sorry. How many do you have?
Yeah.
Is it also in cadence as well?
I think so, and I also think we got but we kind of at the top of the South. I think we got people are much more friendly, like and we not to say we the friendliest people in the world, but like people speak to you, they look you in the face and stuff, and I've noticed that it's different in other places, depending on where you at. So I do appreciate that sort of respect that we have for each other here.
It's the culture.
Yeah, definitely.
And when you speak, it's like respect,
right?
Instead of looking down, or we want eye contact, we want energy, and if we're not receiving it from you, we know what to do with you. We know how to handle you.
Watch you.
So there are also intra-regional distinctions, and what I really love about this panel this year is that all 3 of you were raised in different parts of the greater St. Louis area. Miley, you came up in the city proper. Damon, from the Metro East. Yeah. That's where you grew up. And Courtney, I believe you grew up in West County. Is that right?
No. St. Charles, Elaine. I grew up in St. Charles. St. Charles City.
St. Charles
City, not to be confused with St. Charles County, not St. Peters.
Oh, okay.
Not Cottleville. St. Charles City.
St. Charles City.
Yep. Main Street. Ran up and down all my teenage years.
Okay. Yep. What's important about those distinctions about where people grow up and where they're from?
In St. Charles City, where I grew up, the huge distinction for us was it's old. It's my great grandfather built the house next door to me my grandfather lived across the parking lot from our house. My grandfather and my great-grandfather built the house that I lived in. My great-grandfather had lived next door, built all of these subdivision homes. My husband's from the same area. His father had also worked on a lot of the homes. So it's old, and it's like that connection to having built up the community by hand, as opposed to St. Peter's, which was like next wave, which is all subdivisions and people know where they live. I know where people live by street names. They know where people live by subdivisions. It was like new wave development. So to me, that's like a whole other territory out there.
What are some of the other traits that are common to folks in different parts of the region? And this is not to be reductive, but I think that it can reflect very particular histories that people have either lived through or that have been passed down to them. In 314, the remix, you talk about South City, Miley. What is it about South City that makes it different from other parts of the area?
The diverseness. You are going to get every single race, shape, size, cat, dog, you name it. You know what I'm saying? It's so diverse, and I love being on the South Side. Like, I'm comfortable there.
Yeah.
But I grew up in other places in St. Louis, too. I grew up in the city first, then we moved to the county, right? But then my restaurant was in U City. But then I went to school on the North Side. I had a lot going on, but it was a learning experience for me because I knew what to expect on the North Side, off of Jefferson, versus South Side, Kings Highway and 44, versus Sunset Hills, South County. You know what I'm saying? You know, I learned that a lot of people don't know how to cross streets. They don't read street signs and stuff. You know, you go downtown, it's like there's a Cardinals game. No one pays attention to the street signs. Well, you know where they're from because they're not paying attention to the city. I'm so alert that I'm paying attention to street signs. I'm stopping 10 seconds more at a stop sign and a stop light, even though the light is green.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm on full alert.
Yeah.
So, Damon, you said that you now feel accepted, right, as a St. Louisan. When it comes to collective civic identity, what do you think it is? What does it mean to be a St. Louisan?
I think it depends on. That has to do with regional, where you at and how you feel about stuff. And that goes back a pretty long way. Just like the St. Louis City and County divide, and people specifically not wanting to be a part of one thing, so they made some mess up. So I think it's depending on where you land at. I grew up in East St. Louis, so I remember hearing the same thing about North St. Louis that they were saying about us. Basically how dangerous it was supposed to be, how, and poverty is a real thing in both of those areas. But I think the older I got, it almost felt like people were saying that about each other to keep us from talking. You know what I mean? Because I'm still here, so it ain't as bad as people want to make it out to be. And I think it's also community people stay together. So I guess it depends on where you at and what resources and what experiences you had access to say how you feel about St. Louis and what kind of civic project you are.
Yeah. My time in St. Louis has also taught me many things. And speaking of civic pride, one of the things people here are very serious about and proud of is their food. So from the snacks to mom and pop restaurants to fine dining, St. Louis does not play about what goes on the plate and in their bodies. What very STL snack or meal are you going to make a point of enjoying on 314 Day? I'm going to come to you first, Miley.
You're so funny. I'm going to say good old Chinese food. And a splash of Vietnamese food, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would those items be?
Oh,
yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to get some special fried rice because I like it all. Okay. I like the bean sprouts, onions, eggs, beef, chicken, shrimp, pork, ham, onion, eggs, bean sprouts. That's what's in ours, right? Then I'll get some crab rangoon, maybe 3. Then I'm gonna get a little side of gravy. Then I'm going to get some sweet and sour soy and red pepper. And then I'm going to spice that up, sprinkle all that in there, mix it up. Of course, you have to get the best soda. I will get peach. It's my favorite.
Yes. Okay.
I would get peach or grape, or both. Oh.
So, Courtney, it sounds like a peach vest is also on the menu for you.
I was looking to see if I have my peach vest sticker on this bottle. It's on my coffee mug. Oh yeah, classic.
What are your STL food favorites?
Red Hot Riplets, which is on my phone. That's my other favorite sticker. Yeah, Red Hot Riplets all day long. I'm also a big, I love Broadway Oyster Bar, and it's not St. Louis food exactly, but we're still like sister cities, river cities. We got a lot of similarities there, and I feel like that it's just such a spot where so many people come together, so many forces bring people to that neighborhood that it's just it's a scene. I love it.
Is there something you're planning to eat, Damon?
The special fried rice is on point.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna need a St. Paul. I don't know why ain't nobody saying nothing about a St. Paul, but I'm gonna need the shrimp or the ham or both. You know what I'm saying? But probably shrimp. Yeah.
So this is one of many 314 days we've celebrated, but it's also a few of my colleagues' first ever 314 days. And so producer Maya Norfleet is the only STL born and raised member of the show's producing team. So she took St. Louis Public Radio's newest St. Louisans out for a quintessential 314 day experience. Here's Maya.
I've lived my entire life in St. Louis, so my love for this city runs deep. For as long as I can remember, I've recognized March 14th as a civic pride holiday, but I only just realized how much 314 Day means to me when I met my newest colleague, Luis Antonio Perez. Luis grew up in Chicago's North Side and has lived in several cities across the U.S. Now, he and his wife, Helena, are 6 months into their new hometown here in St. Louis. So I asked Luis if he and his wife would be interested in having a crash course on St. Louis's culture leading up to March 14th. And they were up for it. And as the only member of St. Louis On the Air's editorial team born and raised in the 314, I was pumped. First things first, I met Luis and his wife for lunch. They'd already had fried rice and thin crust pizza, but he had yet to have what I consider quintessential St. Louis food. Vest soda, toasted ravioli, and gooey butter cake. So our first stop was at Emo's Pizza for a 314 day taste test. We started with a flight of Vest sodas. The first flavor was grape.
I could already tell it was going to be good when I smelled it.
Yeah,
I can already tell.
It smells, it's got that cough syrupy smell.
Quintessential purpleness. You
Yes,
know what I mean?
yes. It's like, fake sugar. Perfect.
Very familiar. I'm 10 years old again.
Pick another one, tell me what you're picking, and open that up.
Go ahead, honey.
I have to do pineapple. I'm partial to pineapple always.
Yeah.
Pineapple, cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, of course. It's perfect. You know, it's probably not very safe for work to say. This would be excellent with some kind of alcoholic beverage in it.
Yes.
I don't even know what kind. Maybe any kind.
Yeah, rum, vodka.
Anything.
Even with the Prosecco, it'd be nice and light and fresh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
As like a mimosa?
Yeah, exactly.
A Vest mimosa?
Yes.
Damn!
Bubbles on bubbles on bubbles.
I love it.
We're going to sample strawberry, and then we're going to eat for real.
Okay. Strawberry, like
I like
said.
the color. I want a nail polish. This color.
Damn, that smell is...
It's the ugly face smell.
I had to put it down. That's how good it smells.
Oh yeah. It's even better than the grape smell.
I was gonna say purple was gonna be like my main go-to, but
Yeah.
I haven't even taken a sip of strawberry yet.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Wow. Cheers, honey.
Cheers.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, that's the best for sure.
this one I'm keeping for the rest of the day. Because you know what it is? Honestly, this is probably not gonna be good tape, but like Latino like sodas taste more like this. It's like super sweet, like delicious, different back part of the palate kind of flavor. So that's what it reminds me of.
Different fruit flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Next up, Luis and his wife Helena tried toasted ravioli for the first time.
It tastes exactly like if you were to take a ravioli and you toast it.
Wow, honey.
Now, an honest opinion is totally okay. Do you like it?
Yeah, it is. It is good. It's like a ravioli, but if you toasted it.
And for dessert, gooey butter cake, but in my preferred style, gooey butter cake cookies.
I started biting it. I'm like, damn, it's like a donut. I started chewing it, and I'm like, it's like very buttery.
Yeah.
Like,
And perhaps gooey?
it's gooey indeed, yes. It's not surprisingly gooey too. But I expected it to be more rich. Like more like heavy sweet. It's not though.
Yeah.
It's like rich in the way that I like. Damn, this is good.
Yeah, it's good.
After our very STL meal, we went to Ballpark Village to pick a staple of St. Louis fashion, a Cardinals cap. But there's a slight problem. Luis is a Cub fan, been so his whole life, and apparently that is very significant.
So yeah, that's my dirty little secret. I grew up in the north side of Chicago, pretty close to the Cubs Stadium, and now I'm in Cardinals country.
How does it feel?
It feels fine. You know, it's a beautiful stadium, beautiful area, but we'll go in and see.
Let's go in and see. See, I brought you to places with options. It's not too bad.
Red. It's so red. It's too red. See, the problem is that it's disrespectful to everyone. To you, to everyone on my block. It's, you know, like I can't. These are nice though. These are nice.
What about, look, 60% off? Just say STL. What is that?
I'm not going to be swayed by 60% off. I'm trying though.
Not even a good deal?
This is the Lou.
The Lou? Okay, let me understand something. The hat that says the Lou has 2 cardinal birds on it. So why is that one okay, but the other ones aren't? Like the one with no bird on it is not. Like explain it to me, because I don't get it.
Because I'm also Lou. See?
Luis Antonio Perez, will you buy the Cardinals hat?
I'll buy a Lou hat. Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, this is fresh. No one's going to fault me for this.
Okay. Yay! I'm so proud. Oh, I'm so proud. I could cry.
Is the receipt in the bag okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. In case I want to return.
Good choice.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. You did it, and you didn't burst into flames.
I didn't burst into flames. You're right.
With our tummies filled with yummy STL foods and Luis's new The Lou cap, we finally made our way to For the Culture STL's 314-day photo shoot. The event takes place at St. Louis's biggest landmark, the Gateway Arch.
Oh, hey, there's the arch.
Is this your first time at the arch for real?
It is, for real, yeah. I mean, I've obviously seen it from all different parts of town, but even when we walked up on it, I'm like, oh, there it is.
Even though you knew exactly where we were going, it still shocked you?
I still feel like I'm not there. I want to, like, go up to it.
Oh, well, we're going to go up to it. Let's go.
And I can see why when they're building this, people are like, whoa! Because I'll tell you what, the rest of the country, which is where I came from, right, everywhere else, you don't think about this at all. You just know there is an arch in St. Louis, but you're not thinking of it like as a gateway, and you're not thinking of it as I mean, how tall is this thing?
630, I think 630 feet.
I mean, it's massive.
Yeah, it's big.
It's huge.
And we're still not even at the base of it. We're still walking up on it.
That's what I'm saying. This is, yeah, it's quite impressive. Oh, I see. There's the picture people right over there.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Dang, huge flags. That's amazing. I can't wait.
That was Luis Antonio Perez, the newest St. Louisan in the STL PR newsroom and host and producer of Meet Me. He got a taste of what 314 Day is all about with lifelong St. Louisan and producer Maya Norfleet. We need to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll hear more from St. Louisans about what 314 Day means to them. This is St. Louis on the Air on St. Louis Public Radio.
If you have a smart speaker, you have access to the entire world of NPR and St. Louis Public Radio. All the latest news and all the captivating stories. Activate our voices with yours by telling your smart speaker to play St. Louis Public Radio.
Welcome back. I'm Elaine Cha. This year marks the 20th anniversary of 314 Day. Founded by Terrell, Dip Evans, and Tatum Polk, 314 Day is meant to bring St. Louisans together and celebrate all things St. Louis. On Sunday, For the Culture STL hosted its annual 314 Day photo shoot at the Gateway Arch National Park. St. Louis on the Air producer Maya Norfleet attended that 314 Day kickoff event to ask attendees what 314 Day means to them. And here's what they had to say.
314 Day started in the black community, period. The community has suffered so much, right? So now we're getting to a point to where we're starting to realize like the unity is the most important key. If we want anything and any changes, we have to be on the same page, especially here in the black community.
314 Day is a necessity to just re-energize ourselves around the city. And what we do here, after May 16th, it has been hard. So this moment for us is also just that reclaiming of love for the black community and our things.
You know, St. Louis gets a bad rap. St. Louis gets a lot of stuff talked about it, but we're here showing love. So what is your St. Louis Hear Me Out?
Hear me out. St. Louis has some of the most creative people in the world, whether that's in music, food, the arts space, even business. Off the top of my head, you have like Metro Boomin. He's shaped hip-hop over the last 10, 15 years, right? You have Nikki Glazer taking over the comedy space, right? And there's just so many more people.
Okay, hear me out, but St. Louis has the most beautiful women in the entire world.
Hear me out. St. Louis is not a divided city. We're actually a really tight community, and we do things like this, and we have 314 Day where we show up in all of our gear, all of our brands, because we actually love St. Louis, and we're not cliquey.
That was Ohun Ashe, Cami Thomas, Braden Tawaldi, and Terrell Dip Evans in conversation with producer Maya Norfleet under the Gateway Arch at For the Culture STL's annual 314 Day shoot. Now back to my conversation with Damon Davis, Courtney Dowdle, and Mai Lee. We're celebrating March 14th, aka 314 Day, by talking about the city we love and call home. Now, St. Louisans really, really love St. Louis, and other than dressing up in some Cardinals, Blues, or City SC gear, we show our love by being very frank about St. Louis, and we are our own biggest cheerleaders and harshest critics. And there are more than a few issues that St. Louis as a whole is working through. So as a local community-focused journalism outlet, we here at St. Louis Public Radio report about and share information regarding many of those issues. So we're going to go through a few of the major headlines from the last year that pertain to those headlines. First, there's the May 16th tornado. What did that event and what's happened since illuminate for you about the state of our city and the St. Louis region as a whole? Damon?
Well, I think the most clear thing that it illuminated was our lack of preparedness for things, and not even just in the first onset, but it's been 9 months, something like that. It's been almost a year since that thing happened, and the people of the North Side is still struggling to get basic resources, not only from the city but the state and federally. You know what I'm saying? So it just highlighted. Just some of the holes in our preparedness for disaster when we need to show up for each other.
Mm-hmm. Courtney?
Not to be a broken record, but I think it was just our industriousness of taking care of each other, taking care of ourselves and filling in the gaps when gaps were clearly there. And people just rolled up their sleeves, and people with no training and no background and no, civic engineering we're just getting in there and picking up debris and driving people to pick up their mail or whatever it is that needs to be done. Everybody was looking for a way to help, a way to pitch in, because you weren't sure what the big picture answer was, but you needed to do something. And I think that was a great example of it.
Mm-hmm. What occurred to you about that?
You know what? I'm going to agree with both of them because we saw that we didn't get a lot of help, so we had to help each other. I went house to house, And Miley Restaurant and Noodle House donated. We fed a whole bunch of families.
So it's very get in where you fit in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So cool.
Another topic that has been in our headlines lately has to do with data centers. So data center concerns seem to have sort of sprung up among St. Louisans, and though we kind of saw them coming, developments and discussions around them have been moving really quickly lately. What has been top of mind as you hear about or discuss data centers in St. Louis, Courtney?
For me, it's just what you said, Elaine, the pace. It's like this just dropped from out of nowhere. We have not had time to consider what that means for our communities, what that means for neighborhoods. There's a lot of development going on in that area. We're really trying to build that up and make that a place where people want to be and want to hang out. And to all of a sudden have this, we might have a data center consuming untold amounts of energy and resources, and it just feels very rushed and not well thought through and really just pushed on us without really asking.
Mm-hmm. Damon, why do you think St. Louisans have responded so strongly to news about potential data center plans?
I think it's basically what Courtney just said. We don't like being told what to do. And people, and when things are thrust upon you, your natural reaction is to be, apprehensive to it. I think AI is something that I'm both in love with and very frightened of, right? And I think that's because it's so new. I think that it has a lot of potential to help people. But no, the way it's going and the people in charge are telling you what to do. And I think that's where a lot of fear and apprehension comes from, because people don't, it doesn't have to go the way that the narrative that they're giving us. And so I think that we want to see other options. And I think that's always it. I don't think nobody wants to be told anything, especially something that's going to make your livelihood go down, your quality of life go down. You know what I'm saying? So.
Lastly, we've had a lot of discussion lately about the Great Divorce, and that's thanks to a great conversation starter and history lesson that Luis Antonio Perez has brought to attention in STLPR's newest project and podcast called Meet Me. So the Great Divorce split St. Louis into city and county in 1876. Do you think that there's a chance for city and county to heal from that messy breakup, maybe get back together again? Miley, you were talking about all the different places people come from, where they've grown up, where they hang out. What do you think the potential is for that, for getting together?
I think that would take a lot of work, community work. I'm a different breed. I don't know how that happened with me and going into all different cities and counties here. Mm-hmm. But if that were to happen, it would need to be from us, the people, the community, and a great, great leader. A great few leaders, actually, But I don't know how I feel about that. Well, I'm kind of worried,
And people have expressed that too, yeah. Courtney, what do you think, especially given what you talked about, growing up in St. Charles City, just the way that suburban and urban development has gone?
My high school civics teacher was related to a politician, and the Metrolink expansion into St. Louis was a big issue when I was in high school. We had the bridge, the old bridge, connecting that crossed the river, and the big point of contention was whether or not we wanted to use that bridge, repurpose it for Metrolink expansion into St. Charles. It's a very hot issue. My teacher and her politician husband were very opposed to it, and that's the environment that I grew up in. I think it's possible, but it would take a lot of time, I think, both to get out of some really unproductive, unhealthy mindsets and to repair feelings, because it's been, that divide is deep, it's sensitive, and I think St. Charles is a different place today than it was when I grew up there. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot that has changed for the better. There's a lot more diversity than there was when I grew up. So I think things are changing, but that kind of thing takes a lot of time to heal wounds and change mindsets. Not impossible, but like Miley said, a lot of really intentional effort and the right leaders to make that a productive and a a healthy change.
Mm-hmm. What do you recall about why people were against that Metrolink expansion?
There were really ugly thoughts about people from places that we didn't want in St. Charles, and people coming to St. Charles and taking things on the Metrolink out of our little sheltered community.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was ugly. It was ugly. It was a very ugly time, but it's a real time, and that's when I was, in high school graduating, and that was the topic, that was the political discourse that we were having.
Mm-hmm. Given the way that you have experienced this region, Damon, you came to St. Louis from East St. Louis to go to college here at SLU. How much of that city-county divide did you feel when you got here? And now that you have been here for some time, do you think that unification of city and county would be beneficial, considering especially the kind of work that you do as not just as an artist, like making things, but creating a sense of community?
Yeah, I think I'm going to echo what Courtney and Mali just said. I think it's going to take work for people, but I think at the base of it, let's just call it's racism. It came from redlining. They ran off. And they trying to keep certain the people they talking about is us, the certain people that they don't want, out there. And I think until we just say some stuff out loud and acknowledge that, I think it's still gonna be a circle and a run around and the code words might switch and the things but at the core of it it's fear of the unknown, right? And so until people can be around each other and be for real and have some communal conversations, I think it's always going to be some tension between that, because it was created to get away from people, the county itself and all of those different little municipalities.
What do you think we're losing out on by being so separate?
Culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There can be more culture.
Yeah.
I know we talked about culture so much here, but if it wasn't so separated, then...
I agree. People would mingle ideas, thoughts, and just like peace of mind. And I think we, a lot of us we fighting the wrong. We angry at the wrong people and fighting the wrong people. And if you're around people and you know who they are, then maybe you would, instead of horizontal anger, you might look up. Yeah.
That's a scary thing for some people.
Yeah. There's much to be generated. We need to take a quick break, but we'll be back shortly to continue our annual episode about 314 Day, an occasion that is all about St. Louis. This is St. Louis on the Air on St. Louis Public Radio.
Support comes from Gemma, architects, planners, and designers seeking to bring joy to their clients and communities. Details at gemastl.com.
Welcome back. I'm Elaine Cha. Let's return to our annual 314 Day show. We're here with Mai Lee, Damon Davis, and Courtney Dowdle. We're celebrating March 14th, aka 314 Day, by talking about the city we love and call home. Now, we've talked about what we love about St. Louis and what frustrates us about it as well. But we're also very intentional in making our 314 Day episode an opportunity to talk about improving St. Louis too. Now, whenever we discuss problem solving on St. Louis on the Air, two main themes come to light, and they're things that you all have mentioned already as well. It's partnership and collaboration. And then there's what collective accountability would look like in action. So in your view, who are the people or the powers that be that need to sit down and put their heads together to make St. Louis a better place to live? I'm going to start with you, Damon.
I'm going to go with city government. I'm going to start there. I think, it's always, we got this, it's a hard job, but people are applying for it. It ain't like it ain't a random lottery where anybody got to be the leader. So if you want to do that, then I think we should work a lot harder to see every part of the city, right? Not just the South or the West or whatever, but take care of the North, especially like it's people in dire straits right now, right? So I think I would love to see city administration come together, but also with people. Like Courtney was saying, it was a whole lot of us that was already working and outside of that. So talking to the community in conversation and moving together with the community and the administration, I think we would be a lot further ahead. Yeah.
Courtney, you have anything to add?
Yeah, and along those lines, I think putting the actual people first. Because I think we have a really bad history of politics getting in the way of things that are good for the people in the city. Best laid plans then get foiled by like petty infighting and old grudges, and that gets in the way of making the city a better place. So,
Is conversation enough, you think, Courtney?
Conversation and money behind it. I mean, people know what we want. We know the change that we want to see. We just need someone to listen, not just have those conversations, but like, okay, and then trust that the solutions that people come up with are valid and productive solutions, and then put money and investment behind that. Because I've been involved in some like participatory budgeting projects. Huge success. I mean, people have ideas. We have a lot of ideas. We have a lot of willingness to do the work. We just need the resources and the credibility and the power to be able to do it. We need that investment.
How much reconciliation do you think is needed before we can really get started, Damon?
I mean, we could get started, first of all. We could get started. Those things are not mutually exclusive. Reconciliation and doing work, because we got to build a plane while we're flying it too. But reconciliation needs to happen. That's going to take generations of work, right? But that doesn't mean you don't need reparations and amending things can't be happening while that's going on. So I think you could start both immediately, But conversation is just a start. Conversation is not action. So we need action too.
We started today's show by recognizing that 314 Day was officially founded 20 years ago. That was in 2006 by Terrell, Dip Evans, and Tatum Polk. So if we look ahead, 20 years from now, what does the St. Louis of your dreams look like?
Sometimes when we get really nice things here in St. Louis, it kind of comes to an end very quickly, especially during COVID, right? I used to go to this place called the Monaco.
Over in Manchester.
Yes, and they had a beat night or every Wednesday night, and I would enjoy it because I was like, no one knows about this place. It's just me.
It's your little secret.
It's my little secret.
Don't blow it up.
Yes, and then after that, COVID shut it. After COVID, it just shut down, and I was like, well, where am I gonna connect in my community of musicians? So we have cooler things like that, then we would stick together. I feel.
So in 20 years, those spaces and places will be there. They'll remain.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Courtney, how about you? 20 years, fantasy, St. Louis.
I would love to see us have a solid public transportation system.
You're on that transport.
I'm sorry, but it comes up in every conversation. Like, what are we going to do? It's unreasonable that we don't have that. We deserve that. And we've talked about it, and not the trolley. We've talked about it, and it's been a high priority for community members for decades. But I want to see people able to get from one side of town to the other for fun or for work or whatever it is easily. And I want to see people not feel like they have to have a car to survive here.
Damon, St. Louis of your dreams, 20 years from now, when you're old and gray.
Yeah.
He won't be old and gray.
Yeah. No. I will be old. Courtney made me feel bad because she just want practical stuff.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yep, got it, caught it.
I'm sorry, bringing it down over here.
I'm still waiting on these flying cars. We don't need that's what, I want to see some Back to the Future level, flying cars, hoverboards, something like that. Energy used wisely, and at least where everybody got what they need to live a healthy, happy life, right? Just basic needs being met in a flying car or two. Yeah.
For the ones who want to drive.
Our producer Maya Norfleet wants to know whether the flying cars would run red lights.
Oh.
Would you have to? Would you have to be ready to spot?
Absolutely.
I mean, they do it here already in St. Louis.
Exactly. Keeping it real.
Now we keep our lights going up in the sky. It's a lot.
Keeping the tradition.
New host of problems.
Damon Davis is an interdisciplinary or non-disciplinary artist. Courtney Dowdle is the host of Nomo FOMO on Community Radio STL, and Mai Lee is a singer-songwriter. All three of you, proud St. Louisans, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
This episode was produced and edited by Maya Norfleet.
Our audio engineer is Aaron Dorr. This podcast was mixed and edited by Aaron.
Our executive producer is Alex Hoyer.
St. Louis on the Air is a production of St. Louis Public Radio. Understanding starts here.
Do you find yourself regularly listening to episodes of St. Louis on the Air? Suggest us to a friend you think might enjoy our conversations, and leave us a review and rating on Apple Podcasts on the App Store. It's the simplest way to help people discover our show. Thank you.
St. Louis Public Radio is a member-supported service of the University of Missouri St. Louis.
The Gateway brings you the day's news each weekday from around the St. Louis region and the state capitals in Jefferson City.
Our schools are accredited. We don't need this bill.
And Springfield.
How many more years must pass before lawmakers see time is of the essence?
I'm Abby Larico. Join me each weekday for The Gateway on the STLPR app or wherever you get podcasts.